It's really funny. I actually knew, and I've met briefly Alex Hormozi before at like an
Oh, right, okay.
entrepreneurial event.
Well, that I
And
wasn't expecting.
yeah, it was the realization. I think once I started doing my coaching badges, I actually realized I was rubbish and I was never going to make it as a professional. And I'm like,
So today I've got Raymond Wood of the Soccer Pathway Pro on the actual podcast today. I actually came across Raymond in a Schoolers post where he was actually telling us how he uses video and live stream to promote his business. But obviously there's a lot more to it than that. And listen, I want to just get back. Let's get into it. Let's talk to Ray. Ray, how are you doing? And thanks a lot for coming on the podcast.
yeah, I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. So listen, let's go back in time. Tell us where you came from. Obviously, I don't want the ancient history, but just your most recent history. Tell us how you were in Australia, and tell us a little bit about the community, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate to work in the game of football or soccer, as we call it, in the US and Australia. I'm from Liverpool, originally in England, as you can tell with the accent. And I was introduced to Skool probably just a little over a year ago.
Okay.
And I sort of had it, I was playing with it a little bit, didn't really understand the full power of it and what it can actually do. And then over the last 12 months, it's been a game changer. And Skool's completely changed my business and the landscape and how we set things up.
So obviously you've come from a football. Were you actually a footballer before or something, or how did you
I
actually
only
get into
played
all of
at
this?
sort of like semi-pro level.
Okay.
I went into coaching really early at the age of 16, 17.
Wow, that's
And
really early.
I was very fortunate to work for teams like Liverpool, Leicester City. I worked for Paris Saint-Germain in France. I've done a whole host of jobs as well, consultant. I'm not only a qualified coach with UEFA, but I'm also a UEFA player agent. And I've been in the industry of football or soccer for about 25 years.
So was it the typical journey of, well, I say typical journey, I suppose there isn't really a typical journey, but you were playing at 16, did you get injured or something, or do you just want to make that transition into coaching? Or how did that actually happen?
Yeah, it was the realization. I think once I started doing my coaching badges, I actually realized I was rubbish and I was never going to make it as a professional. And I'm like, I need to go all in with this coaching because I knew I'd missed the boat for playing. And I was like, right, I need to go all in with my coaching. And there wasn't many
Okay.
coaches who'd started at the age of 16, 17. So I thought, well, if I start coaching at 16, 17, by the time I get to 27, I should be pretty good. And I was pretty much on point. I started to get some really highly regarded jobs in the Premier League. I've worked on football's biggest project for the FA in the English Premier League called the EPPP, where we spent just a little over £2 billion to develop superstars like Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Reece James. So we produced a lot of the top talent for England over the years, which
Wow.
was really exciting.
So how did you come across Jude then? Let's just go into that very briefly, because obviously it's a big, massive name. And yeah, how did he come into your space?
So part of this project that we worked on called the EPPP, we actually understood in 2010, 2011 that we were very arrogant. We had big egos in England and we thought we were all really good at producing players and we weren't. So we've
Okay.
done a big research and we discovered that pretty much talent is made, it's not born. We
Right.
took all of the pieces of information away from the likes of Spain, Italy, South America, and we pieced this project together. And
Nice.
Jude was very fortunate to be at a club called Birmingham City. One of our other project leaders, a guy called Christian Speakman, was heading up the project at Birmingham City. So Jude was very fortunate to be in that space with Christian. The two beneficiaries at our club at Leicester City were Harvey Barnes, plays at Newcastle,
Yeah.
and Luke Thomas, who's still at Leicester City. And there was many players who come out of Leicester City actually, but yeah, we actually then discovered after spending a £2 billion, we thought we had the secret recipe to develop superstars, and we
Sure.
did.
And what a superstar he is as well. Yeah. Was he playing for Real Madrid now?
Real Madrid,
Yeah.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's another one. He was part of the same project, and I've
Okay.
actually co-authored a book called the professional, well, not co-authored, I wrote it myself, called the Professional Player Pathway. And
Sure.
that's exactly what I've done with the Skool platform. I've put my book on, I've turned it into an audio book, and I've turned it into an online program on the Skool
Phenomenal.
platform, which has been game changing.
Phenomenal. So let's talk about Skool. Thanks a lot for your history there. How did you come across Skool? Because obviously everyone's got their story of how they came across it. I'd like to hear your story and how you did.
It's really funny. I actually knew, and I've met briefly Alex Hormozi before at like an
Oh, right, okay.
entrepreneurial event.
Well, that I
And
wasn't expecting.
yeah, and it was actually really funny. I've actually got a friend called David Goggins, who you may or may not know.
Yep.
And I was very fortunate to go on a tour speaking with David Goggins around Australia. And I got to know Alex Hormozi through David Goggins, through reading books. And then I literally seen like the advertisements of Alex Hormozi on the White Horse. And I'm like, what's this all about? And then I seen it was called Skool, and I'm just a curious person. And I thought, if Alex Hormozi's involved, this is going to be something pretty good. I'm really keen to see what it is. And
Sure.
yeah, I was right. It's pretty special.
Sure. So you basically saw what he was doing. Obviously, he must have been doing the ads and stuff at that time. So you basically thought, yeah, I'll start a school community. And yeah, you're at now, what, 257 members? It's a paid community. One thing I wanted to ask you actually, because you cover quite a lot in your community, which is unusual. You talk to players, coaches. How do you mix those two in the actual same community? I don't get that.
So what we've done is we basically done a bit of research similar to the two guys that originally started Uber.
Yeah.
What they done was, a lot of people who don't know the story think, oh, they just got lucky, these kids, and designed an app at college. It wasn't that at all. They actually
No.
looked in the complaints department of the taxi companies, and they
Wow.
looked at the 8 to 10 complaints within taxi companies. So you may or may not know the taxi story with Uber.
Mhm.
And I decided to take that model and go, okay, what is the problem with football and soccer globally? And we looked at
Love
the
that.
8 to 10 complaints that
Love
soccer
that.
clubs have, that coaches have, that parents have, that players have. And we made this platform an all-inclusive platform for everyone and anyone to join and be part of it. So it took me probably, yeah, about 15 years of research, and I was very fortunate that the project I worked on for the club at the time and in the Premier League, we didn't have to sign any NDAs or anything. So
Sure.
I've got a wealth of knowledge in there with being a coach and an agent, and I've literally pieced the program together. And yeah, we're about to go viral across the planet this year. We've got some
Excellent.
big moves. It's a bit of a big call, but
Yeah.
we've worked out Skool. I love Skool, but we've gone from being, I think we were like 180 in the sports category. We're now number 4. We're about to be number
Wow.
3.
Congratulations.
We were 101,000 overall on the overall categories, and we're now, I think we're 39 today. So our plan is to be the number 1 in both categories. So
Congratulations, man. And I'm sure you will be. I'm sure you will be. So I came across a Schoolers post, and I don't know if you want to actually just explain what it is in that Schoolers post, because I was so fascinated by it, so impressed by what you've been doing and how you've been able to actually manage and grow your community. I wonder if you could just break it down a little bit for us and what you discussed in that post, if you can remember, that is.
yeah, I remember the post. Yeah, so one of the big things, it sort of goes against a little bit about what Skool's done recently. So Skool, if anyone doesn't know, they've given you the ability to hold video calls within the platform. But we actually saw that when we were watching Sam Ovens, and he
Yeah.
was educating on the different types of traffic that you get to get people into school, we discovered that it was, for us, it would have been a silly move to do our video interactions within school directly,
Sure.
because we seen it as a lost opportunity. And what I mean by that is, we do 4 live coaching calls a week, and those different live coaching calls are for players, coaches, clubs, technical directors. So it all goes back to Alex Hormozi. Alex is always about value and giving back to people. So we
Sure.
thought, why do we just do our live coaching calls just to our community? Why wouldn't we put it on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok? So we've got a piece of software that we use called Streamlabs. If anyone's familiar with Streamlabs, we stream to all of our platforms. We highly advertise on YouTube with our link in the bio. We're getting hundreds and thousands of people streaming to our live calls, but
Phenomenal.
they've got to subscribe to us within YouTube before they can ask a question. And the
Ah,
first
right.
time,
That's the key then.
yeah, and the first time they ask a question, they then get an automatic message from a piece of software we've got called ManyChat. And ManyChat then drives them a DM to say, you've got to join our free community on Skool before you can come and ask us a message. So we've found a really unique and clever way to
I
funnel
love
people into
that.
the community. Yeah.
Raymond, that's genius. So you're a people person, you're a technical person, and now you're talking about automations. How the hell does all that come together? I mean, did you actually come up with that idea yourself then, or somebody else gave you the idea to do that?
I come up with it myself. I was very
Right.
fortunate. I didn't think so at the time, but when I was 16 and 17, mum and dad were like, Ray, stop wasting your time with this dream of being a soccer coach, a
Sure.
top level football coach. You're never going to make it. Just do something in school or uni. So they sent me to college to do IT
Yeah.
and business. So I've always been
Okay.
very sort of tech savvy and business savvy. And I've done a lot of reading. As I said, I've read all of Alex Hormozi's books. I've read a whole host of different entrepreneurial books and IT-based books. And I sat down with, I've got one of these amazing tools called a Remarkable. And
Hmm.
I scribble away on the Remarkable. And I
Right.
come up with the idea on how to funnel. And the premise come from the way people use meta ads to funnel people into a funnel, a click funnel. I
Yeah.
thought, well, let's not do that because I'm sick of spending money with meta. That's my personal opinion as well.
Sure.
But yeah, we come up with a different way of doing it organically, and people just see the value in it because we're teaching them online for free on YouTube all the
Hmm.
secrets on how to make it as a player, as a coach, how to run a club.
Yeah.
So it's all value add that we give to the families.
Sure. So, which is the most popular platform then? Where are you getting most of your traffic from? Because obviously you're streaming in different places. Where I think I know the answer, but obviously I'll let you answer for yourself on that one.
It's a mixture. We
Yeah.
get a lot of players, like more so through mums and dads, come through Facebook and YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
But TikTok's definitely our driving force. Like we've gone from like we had 20,000 followers on TikTok. Since we've started using Streamlabs, we're up to like 90,000 followers on TikTok. Uh,
Wow.
but what we're finding is having the weekly calls recorded on YouTube and saved in there as well. We're
Hmm.
getting, I'm noticing now, like we're getting comments on videos from a year ago and then they go viral for days. And I'm like, this is like a year old episode. So
Sure.
people are finding it many years later. And it's like mining for Bitcoin, I imagine, like the mining for bits of information. Because I'm biased. Like we've got the golden nuggets on how to make it as a professional athlete on them
Yeah.
weekly calls, and they're pretty impressive.
Okay. I suppose obviously when you're pulling out the names like Jude, for example, it obviously attracts a lot of everyone's ears perk up when you start talking about them and Trent as well. I mean, yeah, they're pretty impressive players, and obviously to mention them must help your cause as well.
Yeah, it does. And then, especially like when we give examples that, with all respect, Jude Bellingham when he was 9 and 10 was no different than any other 9 and 10-year-olds at Birmingham City. He wasn't a standout player.
No,
He was just above average kid he was very fortunate to have a mum and dad who supported him and took him to training and took him to games. But pretty much anyone who's got that support could make it as a professional football player.
sure.
And we've got the secret recipe. We know how to do it. And on the platform that we've got through Skool, we've had 24 players go through the program through the entirety. It takes about 18 months. and all 24 of them have signed pro contracts.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, congratulations. So let's talk about your school community. You've gone for a paid model, Raymond. You could have quite easily gone for a free model and then obviously upgrade people, as in bringing them through the free model, getting as many people in as possible, and then now obviously upgrading when they actually get into the community. Did you start off as a paid community, or were you a free community before and then made that transition?
Yeah, we've switched a little bit. We originally started as a free community, and we charge separately for our program. It was quite expensive at the time. It was about $15,000. And the
Okay,
reason why was we set up Skool as the platform to host all of the content.
sure.
But at the time, Skool couldn't allow us to take that amount of money in one go. Now, we've obviously got better at delivering the program. We brought the costs right down, but we've still got the paid model. But what we've done is we've recently, a few weeks ago, set up the free model as well as like a funnel in. Uh, and after doing all this work, we've actually realised we're actually going to go slightly backwards on it all. Because now what we've discovered is we're going to be building school platforms for soccer clubs all around the world who want their own closed school community,
Sure.
but basically with all of our content that we've got on our existing one. So we're currently about to roll that out. So it's a bit of a lofty goal, but we think the way it's going to be, we potentially could be 100 plus clubs in the next 12 months that will be on our platforms, all individual school
Yeah,
communities. And this is a
excellent.
big shout, but we think we'll be the top 100 schools on Skool. Yeah.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Because
So,
we know the engagement that the community at every soccer club will bring,
yeah,
and it will just push them up through the rankings. And it's going to be a good story to tell because it can be copied and replicated then to other businesses.
sure. So have you got a separate email? Because obviously, what price is it at the moment? $77. I'm sure not everyone can afford that. So the people that can't afford that, what's the vehicle that you use to actually bring them into your world? They'll click on your about page, see that it's obviously a paid subscription. If they can't afford that, what's the next option for them?
So if they come on the annual, it's only 397 for the year.
Okay, okay,
If they do the monthly, it's 77.
okay.
Uh,
That's quite a
but
big
with
difference, then, isn't it? It
yeah,
makes it
and
well worthwhile to go on the annual.
when we used to charge $15,000 for the program, that was for 4 years.
Mhm.
So it was roughly around about three to $3,500 per year. So we've got it down from 3,500 to $397 a year, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
great value.
we do have the free program, but with the free program on Skool, uh, they get access to my book, to the autobiography, to the audio book. They get some of their tidbits of information, but that's all they really get.
Sure.
Uh, what we've done is we've brought it into a pricing structure now, so it's near enough affordable for everyone. And the
Hmm.
guys that can't afford it, our big plan and mission is now we're going out to other private investors who are keen to invest money to be enable us to give it away. But I'll be honest with you, we went down this route a couple of years ago and we've been a very successful business doing 7 and 8 figures. We got to a point where we were giving away the program for free, and I'm going to be honest with you, it was a mistake
Right. Okay.
because people just don't commit to doing things when it's for free. They don't understand what they've got in their hands. They don't understand the power of it. And unfortunately, generationally now, I think kids who are 16, 17, 18, they just couldn't care. It's like, and I think we've realized you've got to have some sort of cost associated to it because it just becomes, people just, it was amazing. We give away 100 scholarships of $15,000 each, and all of them had stopped using it within the space of a month. And it's not because it's a poor platform, it's just they just literally tossed it off because they couldn't be bothered. And that was one of the things that we come up against. And I think in my day, if I was given access to a UEFA qualified coach and a UEFA player agent, I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
nowadays, they just don't store any value on anything.
I
So
suppose as well, I asked that question, but now looking back at it, you give a lot of good content on your channel anyway. So even if they don't join your community, they still get a lot of great value anyway. And obviously you're nurturing them each time you're publishing content. And then at some point when they want to join, they can join, I suppose.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And it's like, I'll be honest, I grew up in Liverpool, in Anfield. We didn't have a lot of money. It was me and mum and dad and my younger brother. Mum and dad worked 60-hour weeks, bottom of the bread line. We didn't have any surplus money, and I had to work from the age of 13 and 14. My obsession was Liverpool Football Club, going to the game. My
Sure.
idol was John Barnes, and I always just wanted to go to the game. So I knew I had to go out and work, and I was doing newspaper rounds, I was washing cars, I was cutting grass, and I was earning £250 a week at the age of 14 because I'd just become a little entrepreneur because I wanted to earn money to do
Yeah, sure.
things. So I think, unfortunately, in society, too many people expect stuff to be free. And that would be my probably number one tip for anyone who's setting up school communities. Have a free community, but don't give away too much. Just give a little bit away, and store some value on your actual community, and put a cost on it,
That is
because
very good
people, yeah,
advice. I
yeah.
mean, I've got another community. It's called School Monetization Lab, and I try to tell them not to put too much in the actual classroom, because the thing is, it's all right giving away a lot of free content, but at some point you need to start charging for it, because obviously you've got a lot of knowledge up here that you can obviously lend to other people, but yeah, at some point you've got to start charging for it. So too much content in the classroom means they don't do anything. They don't take action.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely spot on.
Yeah. So what's the future then? What's the future of Soccer Pathway Pro? I see you've got another community as well, haven't you? A similar one to this one, the $77
Yeah.
one.
So we have the open and the pro. So the open is the free one, where people
Okay.
can come in and get a feel. They can ask us a question. We get them to submit the videos of them playing, so we can have a little look at them. But the future is, I've realised that, especially because the way we work with like players who are normally underage, and all the rules around social media and laws, we've realised that probably having a big open global platform is not the way to go for us. Where the pain points are in soccer globally, it's become a paid sport now.
Sure.
And there's children in Australia, in the USA, in Canada, in New Zealand, and you wouldn't believe it, Des, but they're paying $3,000 to $5,000 a year to play football. And it's like, it's become just a money a money ring. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to go into the very bottom level, the
Yeah.
doldrums of soccer, where some of the really genuine community clubs are all volunteer based, but they only charge $300 to $500 a year for fees. And then we want to be able to bolt on our platform for maybe $150 a year if we can get it that cheap. And we give them all the support that they wouldn't normally have.
Sure.
And that's the big plan. And we're going to try and implement it. It's a World Cup year in the US this year. I'm very fortunate to be moving. Fingers crossed, to the USA in March, April this year. We're
Oh, right.
moving.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Uh,
Oh, well done. Congratulations.
yeah, to a place
So,
called Southern California. So we're moving to Laguna Beach.
so is that a strategic move then?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for the
So you're
business.
obviously, there's a lot going on in Australia, but there's obviously, I suppose there's just so much more potential where you're going.
Yeah, we were meant to move in January, but unfortunately, I was involved in a freak accident in October
Oh,
last year, and I got electrocuted and I had a heart
ooh,
attack. I'm all good. Like, they managed to defib me and bring me back to life. So thankfully, yeah,
blimey.
I lived to tell the tale. But me and me two daughters, we've had to put the move off till around April. But it is a strategic move. It's a World Cup year this year in the USA, and they're going to have a legacy plan in place for 10 years post the World Cup. And my vision is, I've done a lot of work in the UK and I've helped England a lot. Uh, Australia is a very different landscape. It's very political here, sports wise.
Okay.
believe it or not. It's really tricky. But we think, and I believe, like for the next 20 to 25 years that I've got left working, I want to see if we can help the USA achieve that dream. And that's win a World Cup in the next 20 to 30 years. So that's what I'm
Wow.
going for.
Okay, that's certainly a dream. And it's
Yeah.
certainly possible as well. It's huge in that country, isn't it? Soccer, as
It's
they call it.
huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. They've got the money, they've got the facilities, they've got the infrastructure, but where they need improvements is they don't actually have that pathway. They don't have the
Yeah.
understanding of how to turn out world-class players week in and week out.
Yeah.
And I do.
So I know David went over there, didn't he, to try and prove things. Did he make much of a difference, do you think?
Are we talking about Mr. Beckham?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Mr. Beckham himself, yes.
Yeah, he's done well. He's obviously been very clever with his business investments, and I
Yeah,
think David has set himself up even further, I think, financially.
sure.
And he's involved in a lot of projects. And I've actually been over to Miami, the club that he runs, and it's a very impressive setup.
Yeah,
Our idea is, though, is to go with all those soccer clubs that we feel get left behind. It's the bread and butter community clubs who don't have the money, don't have the resources, but every Jude Bellingham, every John Barnes starts somewhere.
yeah.
And we want to be at that bottom where it all starts, and we want to be part of that, because if we get that right, everything else will look after itself on the way up.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So one of the questions I like to ask my members that come on the podcast, it's a question that you don't have to answer. You can answer it any way you want to, but I like to ask it because there's a lot of people starting on this platform. There's a lot of people that are on the platform and struggling. If there's anything you could have done differently regarding your school community, what would you have done differently if you could have done?
Uh, it's a great question. I
Mm.
think I would have set two platforms up to begin with. I
Okay,
would have had the free one, which is like, the $9 one that you can now get.
sure.
I would have put very minimal information in there and just gave one or two pieces of information, enough to draw people in, and really use Skool, what Skool's for, which is the community aspect,
Sure.
and talk to people. When I first joined Skool, if you look at my activity was poor because I didn't really realize what it really was. I didn't get it, that it's community.
Hmm.
And then my next bit of advice would be having your paid model where you've got so much value in there. It's a no-brainer to go, yeah, I'm signing up for $397 because this is ridiculous, like what you get.
Yeah.
Because value is about everything. And if people go in there and there's so much stuff, but what we've discovered is, again, the secret sauce to Skool is the community. It's
Yeah.
being on there. Like I spend 10, 12 hours a day on my Skool community. I've got 4 members of staff in there doing 2,000 activities a day. Uh,
Wow.
and it's
Seriously.
not, yeah, and it's not just likes, it's actual proper comments, actually not using ChatGPT and talking to people.
Mhm.
And our community, I'm telling you now, I know for a fact we've got the best community on Skool because we actually put in what we expect to get out. And
That's awesome.
that's why we'll be number 1 in Skool in the next month.
I love that. I love that. Well, look, Raymond, I'm going to definitely follow your journey. I'm a massive fan, as you know. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got you on the podcast. I read the post and it was so left of field and so different from what most people are doing. I just had to talk to you and had to get you on the podcast. So again, let's big up what you're doing at the moment. Then, where can people find you, and how can they get in contact with you if they want to do more?
Yeah, so I've got my sort of like personal website, which is a good go-to place because the link actually drives you into Skool.
Okay,
So that's theraymondswood.com. And
okay,
then
original.
when you go theraymondswood.com, if you click on, there's a contact button. When you hit the contact button, it takes you straight into Skool. And then on the about page, you can read everything. But also, if you go to skool.com/pro player pathway, if you go to our about page, my personal website's on there as well. And
Excellent.
anyone who's interested in sports or football or soccer, as we call it over here, feel free to reach out. Come on my free community. I love speaking to people. I love helping people. I want to share all this knowledge that I've got in my brain because we just don't know when our time's going to be up, and we should be
So true.
sharing.
So true. Raymond, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. Thanks so much. And I wish you the best of luck. And I wish, well, hopefully you're going to become number one, as you say. We're looking
That's
forward to
our
that.
plan. We do. A big thank you, Des, and I hope you have a great day in sunny England.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much.